I hear you. All right. Let
Yo,
me
this
click.
this this is your boy Art the architect. You see, I'm wearing my homeboy hat because I know he gonna be like, bro, you gonna shout everybody else out other than me. Hey man, I got you, brother. But I got a special guest. Man, would you mind introducing yourself?
My name is Chandra Harkins, but I go by Chandra Kamaria. That's my pen name,
Yeah.
but my government name is Chandra Harkins.
Hey,
That's both of them.
hey, as long as the people know, that's all that matter. You know what I'm talking
That's
about?
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
we was talking a couple of minutes ago, and you mentioned staying at home and vibing. So I I I personally am thankful for this. I'm a hashtag or no, that's air tag. Yeah. This whole COVID thing, it's giving me time to like reflect on myself. And like I mentioned, I learned about being a vegan and like health with a brother named Alaywa years ago. And it's like
Mhm.
a lot of people's like, man, this nigga done lost his mind, this nigga crazy, this, that, and the third. I didn't really care what other people had to say because I knew that in the midst of something ever happened, and I have this knowledge and I've acquired this knowledge and information, I'm prepared for whatever is gonna go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here it is today, present time. I got a dude from Ghana and I got an 87-year-old guy working on a garden.
Mhm.
Everybody call it a farm, but I'm like, well, hey, if it's a farm to y'all, it's a farm to me now. But I'm getting knowledge once again. Once I get my own space, just imagine the harvest that I have from what I'm learning now. I know
Mhm.
the tools I need. I know what I need mulch wise. I know how much land I need. I know what seeds I need. I know when to start. I know when not to start. Expectations of the rain and all of that. I done gather some. So
Yeah.
I
You doing ancestral work though. That's pretty much what our ancestors did.
yeah.
My great grandmama and grandmama and all of them, they kept gardens. So you just getting back to the roots, really. And
I,
that's what we all need to do in some sense.
I've been saying that too. I've been telling a lot of my homeboys and a lot of women too. Like I think this is the perfect time to grow a garden, get back into to
Yes.
earth because it's like, yeah, we are in a digital world. Regardless of anybody, we are in a digital world. But it's like if you're in a digital world, but you're not living out here in the real world, it's like, how do you know what's going on? How
Yeah.
can how are you gonna be able to feed yourself? You know what I mean? We've been through the microwave society, and now
Yeah.
now we in the instant society with Instagram. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mhm.
everybody want things instant.
Yeah. It's I know that gardening is on my list of things to do largely because I grew up with, like I said, with grandparents, grandmamas that kept gardens and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So now it's like I don't know, like I'm starting out with doing herbs. So I want to do herbs first.
Yeah,
And then we'll move up to the vegetables and stuff. But I want to start an herb garden first. And definitely, this is a time for people to be reconnecting with themselves and everything. But it was definitely, this has definitely been a slowdown, and it's still a slowdown for me. Like they can open up everything they want to open up. I think I've got it settled in my mind that I'm not really going to rejoin society in any type of real way till 2021. Like it's already locked down in my mind.
I mean, I like I hadn't even gotten into the questions, but I respect it because it's like in my mind too. It's like the Great Depression happened in 1933, or
Mm-hmm.
really happened like 29, and I know it went on through 33. And my grandfather used to talk to me about that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like most people don't know that the country's still bankrupt from that point of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like with all these jobs that are lost, hadn't even talked to you about your career being a teacher, but a lot of jobs have been lost.
That's
So in
right.
so in logic language, it's like, okay, if 40 million people have lost their jobs, right?
Yeah.
Um, and you getting a check from the government, to exist for a little while. It's like crumb. Yeah, it's a little while. So it's like, what's gonna happen in 2021? Are people really prepared? Because I know like everybody finna go out here in the summer, kick hot shit, excuse my French, but they finna kick it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, the reality is, if you ain't got nothing stored in the cupboard, hey man, you ain't gonna be looking to eat in the fall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm waiting to 2021 too. But you being a teacher, I'm gonna go ahead and break it in. Like, what's your average classroom size, or what was your average classroom size, and what are you teaching?
So I teach fifth grade. I taught fifth grade for 2 years. I
I
taught fourth,
almost spit out my water. Excuse me. But you keep going. Fifth grade.
and
Fifth
I
grade.
taught fourth grade 2 years, and I taught second grade 1 year. I prefer upper elementary, so I've been teaching fifth grade, and as far as I know, I plan on teaching fifth grade this upcoming school year. I teach ELA writing.
Okay.
Um, the reason why I laugh when you said my average class size is because the way that we were structured this past school year,
Mm-hmm.
one teacher taught one subject for the whole grade.
Okay.
And so basically we had at first starting off
Mm-hmm.
112 fifth graders in 4 homerooms. So you averaging about 30 kids per class. Yeah.
It's like, and there's some like, as I go back and I look at the infrastructure of school and how we were taught, and it's like, I, I run into a lot of my homeboys, and no disrespect to you being a teacher or none of that, but like,
Okay. It's okay.
when I talk,
I
when I
got
talk,
the skin as a teacher.
huh? You
You,
got skin, but
you
no,
got
it's like,
yeah.
I remember being a high school student, 10th grade, and I'm asking my geometry teacher. I got 100 in the class. I'm like, man, what is geometry about? Man, this mother, who that motherfucker said, didn't say nothing. She ain't answer my question. So it's like, in my mind, that was a turnoff. It's like,
Yeah.
and I know most so-called black men, that's a turnoff for us in 10th grade. And it's like, I didn't stop learning, but I didn't know to apply the geometry. And hey man, it's a you building a house, that's geometry. You walking through that door, that even you just walking and doing as you do, that's geometry. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, with that being said, and then the influx of, let's say, how the school system was set up. It was, to me, it wasn't really for the family to like grow and build. It was for a working force. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it still is to that day in a certain sense, but it's like, again, I think this thing is showing people like, man, we gotta take care of our own, as far as our own families, and push forward, because now, like my family, we talking more. My cousins talking more. And I just wonder, as a teacher, are you seeing it? Are is that something that like bothers you? Like what's your approach from your vantage point? I know it's a lot.
It is a lot. Oh God, where do I start? Um, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where to begin because there's so many thoughts. So if I start rambling, just kind of work with me till I get everything together because it is a lot. First of all, you have to, in my opinion, you have to be called to teach. Anybody that shows up as a teacher that says it is just a job for them, I need them to go find something else to do
Yeah, I agree.
because it's way too much that you deal with on a daily basis where you don't have to deal with it on other jobs.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? So for the kind of things that you deal with on a daily basis, and this is something that it just comes with the territory. You cannot work your way around it. If it's just a job for you, UPS is hiring, like
for
big. So
real.
don't get mad. UPS is hiring. Go get you a job at UPS. Do what you're gonna do there and go home because it's too much at stake when you come into a classroom to just be or into a school building and you just treat it like it's a job. But it's so many things that you deal with, from policy that you have no control over because you're in the classroom, to just the everyday goings on with the children.
Yeah.
We They closed the schools in Shelby County on March 12th. That was one day before spring break.
March 12th. Wow. Dang.
And we were supposed to just be out of school for the week of spring break and the week after that.
Yeah.
And so that was March 30th when we were supposed to be coming back. But then March 30th stretched into April 15th, and then April 15th stretched into don't come back.
Yeah.
We're not gonna come back at all. And we had to adapt in the moment, like quickly, a virtual learning program that we had never done before. So this is something that we're kicking off on March 30th, and this is what we're finishing up now at my particular school, because I work at a public charter school.
Okay.
So we follow some things with SCS, but for the most part, we're independent because we're a public charter school. So we're a charter organization. So we have just a little bit more flexibility than the regular schools, but we still dealing with the same type of issues, because it just comes with the territory of education. So when you start getting into the virtual learning program, we started having to deal with families who had more than one child in the household, and they didn't have no access to computers, or they had phones and they didn't know how to use the phone to do their work on Google Classroom. So the teacher now has turned into not only someone who's trying to provide some type of instruction, but also turned into tech support too. So
Man,
we sit on Zoom right now, and
that's a,
I'm sick of Zoom.
I,
I'm
man,
literally tired of Zoom right
I
now.
mean, I feel you. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know,
I had some people just was saying that. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, you building the airplane in the air. You know what I'm saying, on its way down.
right?
You know what I'm talking about?
Seriously,
So it's
seriously.
like even in that experience, it's two things. I had a chance to teach first and second grade at Garvey. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that was a goddamn experience. I'm gonna say that first and second grade was cool. The kids was cool.
Sure was.
The
Yeah.
kids, the
Kids are always gonna be cool.
children were cool. They were cool. It was the fucking adults. And I'm saying fucking adults because that's what they were. They were fucking
I
adults. They
understand.
were in the motherfucking way. But no, it's like, as far as the youth, I had like 12 students. What I saw and what I knew is that, okay, if you teaching the old way of how to do this thing, it's gonna be a problem. I mean, I'm not saying don't have the foundation there of like the
Mhm.
information, but
Mhm.
what I used to do as a teacher, I would find an alpha student, whether it was male or female, and I would put the kids in groups or the children in groups. So when I put them in groups, the one that knew in math, hey, you teach this to the other three. You
Absolutely.
knew the English, because it's like, once you get into high school and then you go to college or you go to work in the workforce, you start working in groups. So it's like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not do that now?
So I'm gonna give you the educational term for that. That's called peer teaching. And at my school, we encourage that. Like that's something we do. They believe in peer teaching, and so in our classrooms we do some peer teaching.
That's
That's what it is.
that's what's up. So what is this called in, since that's called peer teaching? I used to say, like, some students learn sitting down at the desk, writing, you know what I'm saying? And then you got some students, they need to be hit upside. No, I'm just tripping. They don't need to be hit upside the head. Now, some students, they
And
need
walk
they
around.
need they need to walk around or listen to some music while they doing.
Yeah.
So do y'all have a term for that too? Because I know, like, I'm old. They'll call me old school because I'm like, yeah, we doing some.
Yeah, it's a term for it. I can't think of it right now, but definitely, that what you're speaking on is just the various learning styles. And so, as a teacher, you have to incorporate all of them. There's some kids that learn better visually. There's some kids that learn better by hearing. There's some
Yeah,
kids that learn better by doing.
yeah.
And yeah, we do have to like it. That comes with just being in the classroom and knowing your students, and
Okay.
having the flexibility. Because once you're in your classroom, you can do what you want.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's long as they're looking for the data and the results, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a baby that you know for a fact does better if he's walking around the room reading,
You got to
then you
do
give him
it.
some you
Yeah.
give him some sort of opportunity to stand up at his desk or something like that. We have things like that we can do that with. But with fifth graders, we don't have a lot of fifth graders that need to stand up and read. You know,
Yeah.
we have a lot of fifth graders that want to teach the class.
I can see
Because these fifth graders are different than when we were in the fifth grade.
that.
These kids, for the most part, now they kind of already middle schoolers.
Okay.
Because they're exposed to so much. So, one minute they're grown and the next minute they're kids. And so you have to,
They 4 years old.
so you run that gamut throughout the course of a day. You
Gotcha.
know, they'll be cussing a child out one minute and then
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that.
and then but it's real though.
Yeah, I feel. I mean,
It's real. It's real. And then crying the next because you fussing at them about cussing out the child. So
you just cussed them up. Yeah, I feel you though. I feel you.
yeah, so it's a man, it's so much. There's a lot that's happening right now. Let me say, okay, so there's turnaround education. That's what I mean.
You said
So
turn around. What you
so
mean, like?
turnaround education is basically catch up. You
Okay.
go into the schools and you're catching the kids up because they are in neighborhoods where there were schools that didn't do right by them. That's the simplest way you could put that. And so those kids are behind, and 9 times out of 10, sometimes their parents are behind too because their parents grew up in the same neighborhood, going to the same school, and the school been failing for a while. And
Mm-hmm.
so turnaround education is where you try to play catch up. And playing catch up ain't always easy. It ain't easy at all. Let me quit saying it ain't always easy. It's not easy, period, because you're dealing with so many different variables, some things that are out of your control, like what's going on in the child's life. You have to take those things into consideration while you're teaching them. Then you have the standards that they're pushing at you to make sure that you teach the kids, because this is how they got to catch up.
So you got wall after wall after layer after layer after wall after wall, and then
But you walk in there every day chipping at that wall. Because here's
yeah,
the
yeah. I
thing.
mean, yeah.
Your babies are gonna give you I'm speaking for me because I'm a teacher. My babies give me the encouragement. Like when I get in that classroom
Mm-hmm.
and they lock in to what's going on and they actually invest in what's happening and they become engaged and they start showing you what they can do, because I set my expectations really high for my students.
Yeah.
And so I said it high for them because I'm letting them know that I believe that they can do it. Like I don't bring nothing down to their level. I'm like, if this is where it's at, that's where you're going. You're gonna reach this. Ain't nobody bringing this down to you. Come on up here to where this standard is right here, because I know you can. And so the kind of work that they put into, once you encourage them and they get that one piece together, then they're ready to show you what they can do. Because all they want to do is prove themselves. And so once you give them an opportunity to do that, they meet those expectations like you want them to. And so that's what keeps you going back. That's what keeps you dealing with the bullshit. That's
Yeah.
what keeps you dealing with, the stupid stuff like the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Education for this ridiculous administration, who has said that the coronavirus funds, the coronavirus relief funds, should go to private schools. And so the state of Tennessee is actually going to do that with the coronavirus funds because she said so.
I
They're
need
going to push
I
those
need
funds
to
to private schools.
I need to make a special trip and start smacking motherfuckers. Where they at?
Hey, I'll give you a list of them. You just have to make sure that you leave me out of it. Keep my hands clean.
I'm gonna
But
go
I
get
would be more than happy to give you a list of people that you need to go smack, because
Dave Chappelle. We can just gonna start smacking motherfuckers.
that's what's
That's
happening right now.
crazy. How to
And I can send you the article that was in Chalkbeat, Tennessee. So that's a real thing.
but it don't add up. Not saying that like
It don't add up at all.
we should, like I like what you said when you said basically your bar is set high for them to reach. And even if they don't hit the bar, it's like you got the confidence to go even further. And once you go further,
Mm-hmm.
it's like your light bulb is going off.
Mm-hmm.
So like the children need that. I know I needed it in school because
Mm-hmm.
I know we was stupid. I know we was somebody say an S word in class. I remember my partner, I think we was in like the third grade. My partner Quincy Brown, he a comedian. He's stupid too. We was partners in the neighborhood. This fool, we playing strawberry. He says a S word. So I'm stupid. I just get up and I go knock his ass off. Like I just go and found his ass. And the teacher's like, boy, go sit your ass down. And man, next thing I know, I'm in the office. I'm like, that man said a S word. Like, what is you? He can't say that. You know, we had our own rules. But it's just I guess I know it's good to see that you are approaching the children in a way in which they, you know, they can shift not just in the classroom but in life too. Because I know the situations at home may be man catastrophic, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you giving them hope. They want to come back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? With a fresh mind. Like, look what I did. Look what
Yeah.
I got going on. So,
Yeah.
how long have you been teaching? You trying to count it up in your head? I see you like 10, 20,
Not
15,
quite. Not
16.
even. It feels like 20 years, but it's only been about 6.
Mm,
I
for
think we're
real?
going. Let me see. Yeah, it's
6
about
years?
6. It feels like 20
Yeah.
because I came in and hit the ground running. There was no, grace period for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as soon as
You got complete.
I just dove right in and
Yeah.
just went for it, and that's really the only way you can learn anyway. I mean, I was able to get some professional development and I got some teaching methods and some things around how to do classroom management and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, a lot of it is just very intuitive and it's just me loving the kids enough to get to know them and develop a relationship with them so that I can, and show that I'm vested in them.
Yeah.
That really is what does it. Cause I mean, I spend some of my days teaching life lessons before I teach anything about class. Like I might have taught a writing lesson that day, but honestly, what I taught mostly was a life lesson.
Mm.
And I'm good for stopping class and then just going into this whole little thing. Like I connected back to a lesson. So I've gotten good now where I know how to connect a life lesson with whatever we're learning about
Yeah.
and explain it to the kids. Because a lot of times it's just like when you were saying, when you asked your teacher about geometry,
Yeah.
what you wanted to know the why. You wanted
Yeah.
to
I
know the
want.
why
Yeah.
behind what you needed to learn. And as long as you explain the why, the kids will be cool. They
Yeah.
like, all right.
Exactly.
So and you kept learning because you had to.
Yeah, I
But
did.
how much more would you have become invested in geometry if your teacher had told you that you can use geometry when you out here doing construction or
Yeah, I probably would have
something?
been the president of a construction company or something.
You know what I'm saying?
And
And so
my granddad was, so I should I wish somebody would have it's a lot, but it's like shit. It's I think that thing is draining for a so-called black male
it
because
is.
it's a lot already going on in our minds. Like, man, this shit here is a waste of time. I'm in class and I got so much other stuff running through my mind, from females to like shit. Am I gonna pass this test? I got a hoop later on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
It's the same for girls.
yeah.
Down
I'm
boys,
already understanding, but it's like,
you know,
so
lots of stuff.
like, all right, where do you teach, and then like, what's the school culture?
Okay. So
I think you mentioned the school, but what's the culture?
I teach like I said, a public charter school. It's called Freedom Prep.
Okay.
Um the school culture is we have like we make sure we instill the core values into the kids. We have 5 core values. And we're also, you want to know what the 5 core values are? You looking like you might want to know.
I'm listening. That's all I do. You like, I got 15 core values. I'm like,
No,
well,
it's only 5. It's only
I feel
5.
like
Five.
I
We're
feel
gonna,
like Bill Cosby or somebody. They're gonna be like, look at Bill
so
Cosby on the goddamn. Yeah, I can go
we
ahead.
have 5 core values, and it's what you would call the technical term for it, I guess, would be strict and demanding, or warm and strict. That's really what you would call it.
Warm
So
and
like,
strict.
so it's pretty much like a nurturing environment, but at the same time, it's very clear that we have some expectations of you about your behavior
Uh-huh.
and specifically about your academics. And so here's what we want to make sure that you understand that. And our kids respond well to it. They respond very well to it. I will say that it's not for everybody. Some people might say it's pretty rigid, but it seems like it's rigid, but it's really not. When you think about the fact that there's a school, there's like 600 kids in that school.
Hell yeah, you gotta have some kind of, you gotta have a real system.
Right. So you have to have some type of systems in place to take care of kids that are ranging from 5 years old with pre-K.
Oh, you got pre-K too?
We're pre-K through fifth grade at the school I teach at. So we're looking at 4 and 5 year olds all the way up to 11-year-olds, 10 or 11-year-olds.
Man.
So to have that number of kids in the school building every single day at once like that, you got to have something in place to make sure that the kids, and they're vested in it. There's a lot of incentives that we build around students and their academic performance and their behavior and stuff like that. I have seen students that couldn't make it at other schools come to Freedom Prep and they're doing fine.
Okay.
Like I got a baby right now that just sent me a text and was like, I'm gonna miss you next year because she's in the fifth grade. I'm gonna miss you next year and I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. And I'm like, you're gonna be fine, because honey, compared to how you were when you first got here, you got it now.
Yeah.
You got it. Like you understand how to manage yourself and how to have some self-control.
Yeah.
And so it's an environment that really want to, we really try to work with the kids. We have a social work team that is pretty powerful. They're very powerful. And the social work team is always, providing all types of social skills and things like that to help the kids manage their own emotions and to be able to communicate rather than acting out. So those are the things that we got going on. So the school culture is definitely something that is, like I said, it's warm and strict. It's very nurturing, but at the same time, we ain't playing with you either.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's good because like I reference basketball a lot because that was a life lesson for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of the great teams or great organizations had great culture. And when
Mm-hmm.
I say great culture, I'm speaking of business, not just what they did on the court.
That's right.
And so it's like if I have players that are playing on the court, I'm looking at not only what they're doing on the court, but I'm looking at what they're doing off the court for
Mm-hmm.
longevity of life. Meaning, like I look at the Golden State Warriors as an example. Some of the players that play for them, they actually invested into businesses that are taking off now. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they talking to the fans that's sitting on the front row. They getting the culture and the organization of what these guys are running, and now
Mm-hmm.
they're applying it to their own lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the structure that you gave to that child. Now when she goes to the school that she goes to, her foundation are already strong. You know what I'm saying? Even
Mm-hmm.
even whatever she went through to where she is, and now she passes through another door. That's
Mm-hmm.
gonna open up and be good for her. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So yeah, like culture is, I think it's vital. I mean, even like the culture that we have at the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? It's from where we were, the shop that we had going on here in Atlanta, to now where it is now, it's totally different. The
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere is totally different. How we run and how we operate. We had a lot of cool guys at the other shop. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of bullshit going on, just being frank with it, because it wasn't a culture of we looking out for our clients, and we want, we not looking for anything productive. It's just you go as you come, you leave as you come. But now I think it's just the area, the mentality of what the owner, it's the same owner.
Mm-hmm.
What he wanted wasn't what was going on, but now
Yeah.
what's being produced, you know what I'm saying? He's seeing the fruits of his labor. So
Structure is important. If
yeah,
you don't I mean, nobody wants to walk into anything that's, I mean, if it's serious, you don't want to walk into anything that's unstructured.
yeah,
And so for our kids, when they come to school, because for a lot of our babies, school is the only place where they get some structure.
yeah, I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? Because when they go home, they really don't have a lot of it.
Yeah,
So it's about if there's any type of stability that all children need stability. So if they can't get it at home, they can at least get it at school.
yeah,
And that's really what that's about. Like everybody got to have structure. You don't want to walk into nothing that's all toe up. Who does?
hell
Who's
no,
okay with just walking into something that is a complete wreck
nah,
and it's not functioning in any type of way and think there's something something progressive and productive is gonna come out of
nah. I don't know, like even it got me thinking about barber school and the shop that I worked in Memphis. Um, my barber instructor dude came in. It was a certain tone at first,
it. Mm-hmm.
but what he brought was culture. You know what I'm saying? And he brought us speaking as men towards each other, wearing slacks, wearing dress shoes, and it's like, okay, from there, I saw myself progress because I
Yeah.
already wanted to, and this is just from being around other barbers because I didn't know how to cut, but I knew that if they saw something in me that was way better than these my homeboys that's around, and to have an instructor that actually cared, it's like damn, like shit, I need to know what's going on in the book, and even like the shop owner, her name was Cheryl Hines.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like as a you know as a female barber, you know what I'm saying? Barber, period. Like
Yeah.
what she brought to the table, it was like every day I had left, I had to mop the goddamn floor. I had
Yeah.
to sweep and I had to mop before I left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just carried that mentality wherever I went, and as far as the barbershop was concerned, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that shit stuck with
She taught you that's the profession.
me. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like if this is it's a craft, if this is a craft for you, then these are the things that lets people know that you care about your craft.
yeah,
And barbering is such a respectable profession anyway.
man,
Like I don't know if people really understand how much it's specifically with black barbers, how much the barbershop and the hair salon has just been critical to how we've kept ourselves together as a people, not just in getting our hair done, but just in having this place to like sit up and chop up different issues and topics and stuff.
yeah,
It's a safe space. So barbering is a very respectable profession. So those teachers will let you know that it's respectable. And
yeah,
if you want to be a part of it, you got to honor, you got to honor the legacy of it. You got to honor the tradition of it. That's the same thing that I'm saying about teaching. You
yeah,
know, it's a vocation. It's not an occupation. You should never look at teaching as just a job. You
yeah,
can find a job anywhere. You got to know exactly what you're doing. You playing with people's livelihoods. You trying to get, because these little people are going to grow up to be adults one day, right?
shit,
And
yeah,
so you have to be one of the people along the way that is going to be putting something in them that they could come back to when they get grown.
yeah, and that's something like it was Miss Green was the lady that was at the barber school with Mr. Casey Allen. It was like he had over 100 years experience from his grandfather and
Mm-hmm.
his grandfather partner. So it's like when we greeted each other, Mr. Halliburton, you know what I'm saying? Instead of what's up, fool, what's up? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't. He was like he cut that shit completely out. And once
Yeah.
he cut it out, it was like, all right, we got a real system going. So it's like I started looking for that type of system wherever I went, whether it
Mm-hmm.
was in Memphis when I was cutting, you know what I'm saying, for the time. And then when I moved to Atlanta and I started looking for that structure in everything that I was doing, not just in the barbershop. So
Mm-hmm.
that was something cool. But
And that was your education that did that for
oh
you.
yeah, yeah. And
So
then
there you go.
yeah, not at school, like my pops and them, like my pops, my uncles and them, my grandfather, like my mom and them, like showed a lot.
Yeah. So that's why that education is important, not just a formal education, but a life education,
Yeah,
right?
I ain't gonna lie, I got more out of life education through my fuck
So,
up, through my personal fuck ups. Like, they lit into my ass, but it was like,
experience is the best teacher.
shit, I swear, I'm like, if I could have did it all over, I would have went straight to that, sat down with them dudes, talked to them, let them talk shit to me. I
Mm-hmm.
work for free. I would have rather done that than to go to college, like, cause it's like, I feel like I wasted my time, but I didn't because a lot of the dudes that I was around, I'm still cool with to this day, and we working as a collective on some things. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But them dudes gave me the wisdom in which I shared to like the youngest that hit me up, my homies that hit me up. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
come, they holler at me.
Yeah.
I'm saying. And then you were talking about the shop too. I'm like, I had to go get this. I had to go get their hair done. You know what I'm saying? Let that lady just hey massage. I'll be like, look. Oh my God, come on. Hell. But you
Well,
know what
I
I'm saying?
haven't quite went yet. I hadn't quite went yet. I got about three or four. I look like three different ages by my hair right.
Hey, look, they said I'm getting hey, look, we ain't gonna even
It
um
it is what it is. You know, they
yeah,
shut
I ain't
got it
tripping.
down. And
I ain't tripping. I'm like, this
and they back
quarantine is
open
helping.
now, but I'm still kind of like, I don't know yet.
Nah, this. I mean, like this. Like I said, this quarantine really it really helped. It really showed me, like, I started studying coding and video game programming.
Okay.
Um, Getting in the garden, you know what I'm saying? And it's like it showed me to pay more attention to my time, my personal time, because I'm like, I'm leaving my first job, going straight to the shop. It's like, man, you gotta give your time, yourself some time. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta vibe. But what challenges did you face pre COVID-19, and then after? Like, what's some challenges?
Just the regular challenges of teaching before COVID-19, just managing the children. It was a lot of them, so it was 112.
Yeah.
But I was used to that too at the same time. So,
How you remember 112 names? But keep going, dog. You heard me. You heard me. You heard me.
but you do it because you have to.
Bring your ass here, motherfucker. Bring your ass. No, just true.
Literally know all their names to this day.
For real?
Know all of them. Can call all of their names right now.
Wow, don't do it.
All 112 of them.
Don't
You
do
know
it.
what I'm saying? It's just it come again. It just comes with
No
territory being a
territory.
teacher.
Yeah.
But I haven't taught less than 100 kids in the past 4 years though.
Wow.
So I've been averaging at least 100 kids per grade because like I said, we were set up where one teacher was teaching one subject for the whole grade. So you had a math teacher for all of fifth grade, a
Oh,
reading teacher for all of fifth grade, a writing teacher for all of fifth grade. So that's how it was. Those 2 years that I taught fourth, and these 2 years that I taught fifth, I haven't taught less than 100 kids.
damn.
So
So
and I know their names. So you know what I'm saying? You just learn their names because you have to get up every morning, go in there and teach them every day, and you connect with them. And you gonna know them because they know you. So at the end of the day, they know your name
yeah.
for
Little,
sure.
little Bobby, bring your ass here, little Bobby. Come here, little Bobby. I'm gonna punch you in your head and keep on.
The challenges that I faced were, of course, the usual challenges that you face, just trying to get babies caught up. Some of the ones that who show up to the school in the fifth grade, but reading on a first and second grade reading level.
Mm,
Trying to get some growth out of them.
okay.
Um, Managing your personal life with teaching
Mm,
because your work-life balance, it's easy for it to get off when you're a teacher.
gotcha.
Very easy. It's nothing for you to be in the building at 6 o'clock. You dismissed at 3:30, but you're still in the building at 6 o'clock. And then you go home and do some grading. So it's just all of the things that come with that, the different kinds of situations that's going on with the children themselves and how that impacts them learning. You know what I'm saying? Working with the social workers and them telling us, hey, this baby right here got this going on. So today they might be a little off. So these are just the common everyday
God
realities that you deal with
damn.
going into a school and teaching every day. So post COVID, where we at now, the virtual learning thing. The virtual learning thing was easy for me because I'm tech savvy, but we're talking about how to make sure all the kids, as many of our kids as possible, have access to the virtual learning platform and what's happening within there. I mean, we've had everything, we don't know how to use this, we don't know how to use that. It's 5 kids in the house, and we got to have one computer for those 5 kids because they all go to the same school. It's like one in the first grade, two, one in the second, one in the third, and one in the fifth or something like that, and they're all in the same house. There's still situations where some of their parents were essential workers, so their parents were still going to work every day. So where are their children going to be because the school is closed? And just all of that
A lot.
complication right there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There were kids that might have had laptops and tablets and phones, but they're toys to them.
So they
So
like,
having them to reconfigure in their minds that
yeah,
this
I
is
gotta do
something you
work.
need to do your work on, right? Instead of just playing games and
They
talking to
not.
your friends and making Instagram videos.
They not. Yeah, I'm like, it's like giving a kid a knife. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one kid might go and, dig up and find food. The other
Yeah.
one gonna stick your ass up and cut your ass up. So it's like, damn, I can only imagine. So like,
The good news though is that a lot of them adapted really well.
I
So
mean,
that's the
I
good
can
news.
see it. Yeah,
That's the good news.
majority, would you say? You ain't got to get no numbers, you know.
It's not really the majority, but it was a good, healthy number of them.
So
So
like,
what I mean by that is like I would say maybe about 40% of them,
mm,
and that's good for something that just didn't exist
happened, yeah.
prior to March 30th. You know what I'm saying?
So so
So,
so that being said, and you talking about after, um, I have a school getting ready to get started online, and
mm-hmm.
I don't even know what the hell ELA mean. I be hearing
English
my
language art.
yeah,
English
yeah,
language
my
art.
daughter be saying, "Yeah, Dad, I got this grade in ELA." I'm like, "Girl, I don't know what the hell ELA is, but I know what English is." But nah, you know what I'm saying? I just think like with the virtual learning and the information that teachers possess, I'm like, y'all not getting paid enough. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Y'all ain't getting
We're
enough.
not.
But I'm like,
We're not.
what I'm looking at doing is to set up a process where just give me $5 off of each person that'll sign up. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, I'm not, you know, I'm not hungry for the money because I'm like, if you got 100 people signing up
Mm-hmm.
and all it is a referral for me, I'm cool. I'm not trying to take no money out, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like what I'm looking at is it's too many opportunities to learn,
Yeah.
especially now.
Yeah.
And everybody's sitting down. Not, you know, like I know a lot of people, the grown folks, like they want to go outside now, like say some grown ass kids. I'm like, man, sit your ass down and read a book. But a lot of them you can't tell, you know what I'm saying? You
I'm
can't
telling you.
tell that to. It's understandable. I get it. But it's like if we don't start processing this information, we're gonna be in the same predicament we've been in.
Oh,
Period.
absolutely. I think that, you know, because coming up for this school year, I don't really think that virtual learning is going to go away. Like, it's not
Hell
going to be something,
no.
oh, here's what we just had to do for the time being. Now let's set this aside because you
It's
mentioned those CDC guidelines. And
over
I'm
with.
like,
I think school I think what we knew as school and the norm of
oh,
school
absolutely. It's
shit
changed.
is over with.
Yeah, it's over
I
with. It
really feel
is,
I
actually. Yeah.
really feel like cause all right, when you talk about Twitter, uh Shopify, who else is it? Facebook, these motherfuckers talking about working from home for the
Yeah.
rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything going digital. So
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying? It's like what do you expect? Like if 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 you just getting if you getting the phone to get, you know, get views, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to really educate yourself, I get it. But it's like, what the jobs gonna be
They're gonna be you sitting
on
in front
tech
of a laptop. Yeah.
on technology, you know what I'm saying? So like, um
Everything is changing for sure, and we have to change with it. And everybody's, this is where innovation and creativity got to come up. Got to
I
come.
I just I just offered you you know what I'm saying, a job as a teacher on my, you know what I'm saying, in my school. You heard?
Yeah.
We
I'll
gonna
talk some
we
more
gonna
offline about that because
yeah,
I'm gonna
we
tell
gonna
you
talk.
something else about
Yeah.
that. Mhm.
So how does technology help you now? And what do you think has been lost in interaction?
Well, technology. Well, one of the things that I have enjoyed with virtual learning is making the kids aware of this is where their lives are really going to be now. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much like the project, like some of the things that I would ask them to do during their assignments during virtual learning required them to go and use Google and
Okay.
use YouTube for research purposes. Like I was
Like the
specifically,
music video.
yeah, you know, like I would, like
And put that Drake on.
they had to do, I was teaching them on biography, on how to write a biography and do a biographical profile on somebody. So I gave them like a list of Hispanic and African American authors. They could pick whichever one they wanted to,
Uh-huh.
and then using Google and YouTube they had to go and research that author, and then they had to like go back, come back to I had to come back to a document that I set up for them
Mhm.
to put their biographical profile together on the person that they chose. So that's something that they had to do that they wouldn't have not been able to do in a normal classroom. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't have been able to have them to use a computer or pick their own author and go to Google and go to YouTube in the classroom. It would have worked out like, you know,
For about 15
here's a packet pretty much with all the information already in it, or we would have been all studying the same person and we would have used the same biographical text on that person. You know, it would have worked very differently. So there was a little bit more freedom that I had to be able to ask them to do certain projects on their own.
Yeah.
Um, so that was something that I made clear to them that it basically was me trying to help the kids understand that when you're doing virtual learning, it's up to you now. Like you're not gonna have a teacher that's walking around the classroom trying to make sure you're doing your work. You have to be more self-governed and to just actually see the students, you know, understand that, because as we've been doing the virtual learning program, they would turn in their assignments all night. Like I would wake up the next morning and I'm looking at, you know, notifications where kids were working on assignments at 1:30 in the morning.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the time that they were working on it because they're up anyway, right?
Yeah.
So it's just about teaching them how to be self-governed, helping them understand that there was a possibility that this is not going anywhere anytime soon. So you're gonna have to know how to manage yourself on Zoom calls. You're gonna have to know how to get the assignments from your teachers, but then you're gonna have to be the one that's in control of getting that assignment done. It might not be anybody around you forcing you to do it. So this is what's requiring you to have the autonomy to do your work on your own, pretty much like you would in college. And I made sure that I let them know that this is something that is connecting you to the college experience already.
Yeah, it really.
So this was the benefit for it and what I was trying to do during this time. It was another part of that question you asked me.
Um, what do you think has been lost in interaction?
Oh shoot.
You know, like,
Being able to hug my babies,
yeah,
being able to hug them and reassure them that they can do the work and talking to them face to face, that's been lost. You
yeah.
know, not having that necessary interaction with the students,
Mm.
you know, because kids can pick up on things. You
I
know what I'm
agree.
saying? So kids can sense when you care about them, they can sense when you don't care about them.
I agree.
And so, you know, being on these boxes and everything and talking through these computers and stuff, I can say it, but it's a little bit different if I said it in front of you and I added a hug with it. So
Yeah,
just that personal interaction with my kids is what I miss the most. And that's what I feel like is being lost. And another thing that's being lost is for the kids who don't necessarily have the capacity to be online because of technology issues, because of lack of access to technology, academic slip, you know what I'm saying, what we call the academic slide.
uh-huh.
So the academic slide is when the kids are learning, but because of the fact that they're not getting that type of instruction on the daily, on the same level, they start to slip back. So this thing has a possibility of widening the academic gap in some sense because of the fact that we have students specifically in public schools that might not have access to technology. So what they gonna do? You know, and you can give them a packet of work and let them work a packet of work, but then at the end of the day,
They ain't got nobody.
where's where's the instruction piece?
So
You
you
know, where's
making
the
you making
instruction?
a you making a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old, 11-year-old responsible.
For sure, trying to, but I'm about responsibility anyway, Miss
Yeah,
Hart.
it's cool. Yeah, I'm saying it's
You know
cool.
what I'm
I'm
saying?
saying, like, but
Come on,
you
like,
also
baby,
need that. You also need that extra encouragement, though. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Especially like that. That's small. If you're not in that position already.
Mhm.
So
You
that's
need that extra encouragement, and then you also need that extra instruction. Like there are just some kids that learn better with somebody walking them through it.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And actually giving them that one-on-one instruction. But
Man, this thing crazy, man. Ooh, like the cold part is I had been telling my folk like, hey man, this school thing is really, I wasn't just saying school, like Pierre Imports closed. And I always think about Hickory Ridge Mall, Pierre Imports. And it's like I heard a song from Nipsey Hussle. He said, that's how I knew. That's how I knew that I was different. And I've been posting it because he said, big companies gonna fall.
yeah,
Small companies gonna rise. And not just that, the infrastructure which we knew is
it's going
completely
away.
is going completely away. And I'm pretty sure people knew that at some point in time, but it's like it's almost like you got to start now.
The only people that's benefiting from the infrastructure being like it is right now, the folks who are making the most money off of it.
I agree.
You know, the primary stakeholders, the folks who have managed to make their billions and millions of whatever off the infrastructure being like it is, are the ones that need everything to stay like it is. That's how come there was such a rush to reopen the economy, because it's just literally all about trying to keep this particular system in place, although that particular system is falling away, right? Because this virus has clearly exposed all of the holes. We knew that they were there. Now they can't lie about them. Like, we see them plain as day.
That's why I did this right here. It's like, hey
You
man,
know,
y'all keep telling me is, but I'm like, I'm still seeing bills and laws and all kinds of stuff being passed. I'm seeing certain things that I always knew about. It is
mm-hmm.
it's coming to light, and it's just like I'm a frequent studier. People will say, "Oh, you a what they call it, a conspiracy theorist," but I'm like, hey man, if you however you see it, I cannot knock it. I cannot negate the fact. But when the herd go right, or when they go right, I,
Mm-hmm.
was, I go left, and that's just me in a nutshell. You know what I mean?
It's,
What
it's really gonna be up to those kids though. It's about getting it into, because me and you, look at us. I see your gray hair, I see mine. So you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We literally gonna have to just try and get these babies ready, because it's
I
just
mean,
it's
yeah.
on them.
I mean,
Some
but
people,
it's kind of like the podcast that I did with Alex Wolf, where we
mm-hmm.
was we were speaking on, okay, the young the younger people were laughing at the older people because they couldn't use the technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I tell them don't laugh at them because I see myself in them older people. Because at some point you gonna walk in them shoes. So it's like I'm helping an 87-year-old man out in his yard, in his garden. I'm learning like a mug. And I'm
Yeah.
like, when I get my own, it's on and popping.
You know what makes me feel my age the most?
What's that?
My first love, and that's hip hop. Hip hop makes me
Ah,
feel my age. It
start
makes me feel
crying the
my age
pump.
because when my babies be trying to tell me who folks are, and they be like, Miss Hawkins, listen to this song, and I'm like, I don't know what he's saying. What he's saying? What he talking about? I don't
They
know
don't
what
they
he's saying.
can't they don't even know what he's saying.
You know, like, I don't know what he's saying.
Do
Like,
they what do
what's the NBA young boy? What's that? I don't know what that is.
never broke again? That's what it means.
You know what I'm saying? What's the NBA young boy? I don't even know their names. They be trying to tell me. It was something they were trying to get me to listen to online like a few days ago. I'm like, that's the young folks music. I don't know. And I find myself saying that now. I sound like my parents. I'm like, that's that young folks music. I don't know that stuff.
But see, like, was different though. Like my pops was listening to Outkast and Tupac with me. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, he talking about selling a little, he talking about selling a little, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I listen, but I'm like, it's no real it's almost like it's no real substance of value there. It's just more or less it's a real facade. You know what I'm saying? They
What's
paint a pretty
beautiful is that they want to know the history, though.
yeah. And
They
now
want
it's
to
like something that I think was dope. You know, you bringing up hip hop, and I thought about I like what Swiss Beats is talking about doing and giving Cool Herc $1 million.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Good.
that's only reasonable. You know what
That's
I'm
why
saying? Because yeah,
we owe that.
he owed that.
Yeah.
And that makes me think about Pimp C. Pimp C wanted to start a music union, you know what I'm saying, in order for the top artists and the lower artists to be paid and to be looked. And it's like people don't people bash Uncle Luke, but they don't know what he did
Oh, he does a
for hip
lot.
hop to be where it is. And it's just like you gotta respect them folks. You gotta give your hats off to them.
I mean, because a lot of them, they struggling financially. You know, these are pioneers of hip hop, but financially they struggling compared to, all of the cats that's out here now that's just dropping like the baby and all the money he's spending right now. I mean, it's folks. It's nothing. I ain't got nothing against the baby. This is not to knock him,
Ah,
but just looking at how all of these cats, like your Cool Irks and your Grandmaster Flash, Furious Five, and all them folks that came out at a time when they was getting pimped and hustled. Them folks ain't making no money. They're not
no.
rich. They
Nah,
not, you know what I'm saying? They got the legend status, but they ain't got the legend dollars.
nah, they
You know
don't.
what I mean? And so Cool Herc is absolutely, oh, he deserves that $1 million
Hell
plus some,
yeah. Plus,
because that's like paying what you owe, really.
yeah, you got if you water the roots, the tree gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? I think about a conversation that El Hakim and I had about hip hop, and hip hop, the seeds of destruction were planted deep in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to listen to the question. I mean, listen to the statement that he was saying, and understand it, because it's like I'm in the midst of it, but I'm seeing it, but I'm not seeing it. But then now it's like, okay, I see what you mean by the seeds of destruction.
Mm-hmm.
So-called white boy could go sit down with Willie Nelson and get game from him, and then they'll promote Willie Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
But let LL Cool J come out with an album. Oh, that nigga trash. Oh, that nigga garbage. But
Mm-hmm.
what if them same kids that was listening to Drake, that was listening to I mean not LL, but NBA YoungBoy, turn on LL Cool J and
Mm-hmm.
send his numbers up to 1 billion. And
Mm-hmm.
make sure that he, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's some things that can happen. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
I didn't mean that we went off on another, but I
No,
had
no,
to.
no. That's cool.
That's what
Uh,
makes me feel old with my students, because I'm like,
nah,
I don't know what y'all talking about.
that was cool. I wasn't expecting it, but hip hop is a part of my life for real.
Yeah. Mine
So,
too. I try to sneak it into some sort of conversation or instruction that I'm doing all the time with my kids. I figure
and
out.
it's a means to teach though. That's what it was about. That's what hip hop is.
Absolutely.
Hip hop is it's a message in it if you get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
from dance to speaking to the graffiti with art. We use the technology. Is that not art? You know what I'm saying? Is that not a way to communicate? So it's just like you got to add film to that too, because now you got videos.
Yep.
So do you want to show something destructive in the video, or do you want to show something that's gonna raise your bar?
You definitely want to put something in there that's raising the bar. That's for sure. Yeah, it's a lot of garbage out here, and people feed into that. And I've noticed that, as I look at my social media footprint, I'm real selective about the kind of stuff that I allow on my feed.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
got a
people,
lot. I
man.
ain't gonna
It's the
lie, I
people.
got a lot of dumb
Right
shit on
there.
there. It's a lot of dumb shit. I ain't with all the fighting and the guns and the bullshit. Like,
Yeah,
but
when I
it be a
moment,
lot of access.
when I get a little taste of free time, I'm gonna sit down with my Facebook friends. Let's start unfriending some people.
Nah, I
'Cause
feel you. So this is my final question. Oh no, I ain't gonna say that's fine, because I want to ask you about some books.
okay.
How do you shake off a day to relax for a week and during your summer? Like to it's a hard day at work. You like, God damn, that was a hard ass day at work. You know what I'm saying? I had to elbow a kid. I had to jump off the desk, and you know what I'm saying? Leg drop on his motherfucking head because he was stupid. He was stupid today.
uh, for one thing, turn off everything. So stop responding to emails. Put the work laptop up. As a matter of fact, during the summer, if they let us keep our laptops and they don't take them back,
Exactly.
sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I put my work laptop away. Like, I don't pull it back out till it's time for us to start getting into teacher orientation to get ready for the next school year. That's what I do over the summer. I don't check any emails. I uninstall all of the school apps on my phone. So I uninstall Kickboard. I turn off my notifications on my email.
Mm.
I uninstall Class Dojo. Just whatever app on my phone is associated with the school, I uninstall it. So I just don't even have to look at it when I look at my phone. During breaks like spring break, fall break, summer break, I put my laptop away completely. I don't even take it out to look at. That's one thing. If it's during the school year and I've had a hard day, it's about literally just getting in this house, taking a bath, listening to some music, lighting some incense, lighting some candles, and turn on some music or something like that. Anything that allows me to escape. Sometimes I watch cartoons because I love watching cartoons,
Yeah.
and that's why I watch cartoons. I watch cartoons as a way to escape life, in a sense. and
Is
kind
this
of
new
revisit my
cartoons
childhood.
or the old cartoons?
I watched the old cartoons. I watched the Flintstones. I watched the Jetsons. I watched Scooby Doo. You know what I'm saying? So I watched the cartoons that I grew up watching as a child. The Transformers.
Cause this new shit, I ain't gonna lie, this new shit be I be like, man, I don't know what the hell going on. Just like the music, I be like, man, this shit go
Yeah.
tit for tat.
I watched the first generation Transformers, the ones
Okay.
that came out in '85.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
watched all of that. So all the cartoons that I grew up watching, I try to make sure that I watch them. And that's one way I escape. I watch a lot of comedians and stuff because I love to laugh. Because for me, laughter is healing. So I watch a lot of comedians. But it's just all about doing the best I can to check out, take bubble baths, whatever. But
Yeah.
it most importantly is about anything that's related to work. I shut it all the
Man,
way down. I don't want to have nothing to do with it.
I got two comedians you probably should check out. Rod Minger, that's my homeboy. He here in Atlanta. I send it to you.
Okay.
Reggie Jr.
Okay.
He a damn fool. He's a damn fool.
Comedians keep me going, man, for real.
For real. I mean, that's I understand why they especially when they I guess they able to maintain and hold a crowd, you know what I'm saying, to really, really perform their craft and their art and it just take you somewhere.
They
So
do. That laughter matters.
so what was the last great book you read? That's the final question. I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm gonna give you the book I'm reading right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I got a few books that I'm reading right now. So I'm just gonna give, since we talking about education, I'm gonna give you the one I'm reading that's part of my profession right now.
Man, ain't nobody. No, I'm sure I'm listening.
And I can give you the other book too. No, I can give you the other book too. It's all good. We'll give you both of them. This is called Cultivating Genius.
Okay.
It's Cultivating Genius, an equity framework for culturally and historically responsive literacy.
Mm.
And it's written by, I don't know if you can see her face, but it's written by this woman named Dr. Goldie Muhammad.
No, I think that's a good one.
It's a woman. It's a black girl. It's a black woman. And she has written this book where she's developed this model for how to teach literacy to basically African American children and other children of culture.
Hey.
And it's rooted in the Black literary societies from the 19th century.
Okay.
So this is something that is all about teaching culturally relevant education.
Okay.
So culturally relevant is about making sure that when Black children you put something in front of Black children saying that you're about to teach them how to be better readers and critical thinkers, it's something that they can engage with because they can make a connection to it. Because it's something that's relevant to them in their culture. And it helps them establish an identity for themselves. Or it's something that they already identify with and you making sure that it's something in front of them that speaks to them.
No, I mean that. I mean I understand it. Um, I read a book called Resonate by the chick I called out Alex Wolf, and it was just she actually talked about the whole shift of classroom and technology where it meets, where it's like it's gonna disrupt the college, and this was like I want to say in February, like early February or late February, and she was just saying how the colleges was gonna be disrupted. And I didn't, like I knew it. I knew it was. I didn't know when or how, but it's like when I saw that the students now they're gonna be learning online in college, I was like, shit, they probably ain't gonna be playing those sports. It's gonna be it's gonna be pointless. I know that brings and generates the money, but like these buildings, the building's gonna be pointless.
Yeah. It,
It's a
it's a
lot.
wait and see. It's a wait and see. It's one day at a time. We'll see what happens. They're gonna figure out a way to get sports back working. If anything, they're gonna be playing the game and there might not be anybody in the audience or something. I don't know how that's gonna work
That's
either.
gonna be ugly.
I don't know how
You
that's
gonna
gonna.
have holograms in that mom?
I don't know.
They probably gonna have some goddamn holograms. These were the people that was at the last game. We gonna hologram their ass at the game. It's crazy.
The other books
Yeah.
that I'm reading are on. I'm reading a book that I read back when I was in high school by one of my favorite writers named Gloria Naylor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm rereading that now because I'm a grown woman. So I'm gonna see what I take away from it as a grown woman. So I'm rereading that.
Gotcha.
Bailey's Cafe.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Trying to see what else I'm reading. I don't know if you. This is another book I'm reading.
Oh yeah. Okay. I have that
For real.
over there somewhere. I got that.
So it's like I felt kind of retarded and slightly mentally ill. As I was reading each, one of those principles.
I'm
And I
about
was
to.
like, no, I said I'm gonna take my time reading it though, because what I did, I decided to challenge one of these youth like a dumbass. I did. I said, man, this what you gotta do. You gotta make a beat every day. I said, starting in June 1st, make a beat. Then June 2nd, make two. Then June 3rd, make three. Then make four. Then make five. I was like, I don't know why I told that kid that he about to be outrageously cold. So I decided I'm gonna read one chapter and then two and then three. I'm like, yeah, that was retarded, but it's a challenge. It's a good challenge for me though, because
I want to show you something. You were reading the Tao Te. Was it the Tao? I think it's called a Tao Te. The T sound like a D.
uh,
I
I'm
think it's
on,
a Tao Te Ching.
and that Zen Buddhism helped me too.
I'm gonna show you something that you gonna hold on a second. Let me show
All
you
right,
this. Food on over here. Oh, I'm rolling in my chair instead of getting up. This is called being lazy.
Gangsta delicious.
So this is an oracle card deck that is based on the book you're reading.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Doing hands? Oh no, she jumping in the water. I was like, she doing a handstand in the water? What kind of shit? Okay.
So, and this is the book that goes with it.
Towel work. Okay.
So it's the
That's
same
interesting.
concept, the
Yeah.
same principles, except it's an oracle card.
Oh yeah, I got a whole gang of books. Uh you ever heard of Crushing It by Gary V? You ever heard of Gary V? Man, that
Who's
dude,
that?
he cold. It's a how could I call him? He's a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
His family's from like Russia, but he's an early adapter to like technology. You know what I mean? Like what he did was he started a wine business online.
Mm-hmm.
When his father saved up all his money as he was working, opened up his own liquor store or whatever, and from there his son was selling the wine, which his son is Gary V.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, well, I'm gonna do a own business, you know what I mean, online wine company. And he was the first one to do it. And like people were like, they're like, we not finna, people not finna buy wine online and
Mm-hmm.
short shit stink. He started moving the wine. But
Mm-hmm.
he's the early adapter to like the internet technology, using technology. He
His name is
recently,
Gary V.
Gary V, yeah. He so like my podcast, he was the one that I learned about Anchor.fm, where I I got on and I started my podcast just recording the audio and not even having a visual.
Mm-hmm.
But he also talked about, Alexa. I know you
Mm-hmm.
know Alexa, the little device, the voice device.
Mm-hmm.
He said that it would take. He said eventually, I say superstar for lack of better terms, will sign a deal with Alexa where they'll be the voice for Alexa. And this was like 3 years ago. And then what is this dude that say motherfucker? I can't think of. I was about to say Wesley Snipes. His name is not
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. Got the deal, and I was like, dude, you. And my homeboy, he introduced me to him because he was like, man, y'all think alike, just on what we see, what's going on, what's taking place. So I started reading up on him. Um, it's another book. Let me see. It's talking about what is this? What is this book called? Contagious. Have you ever heard of Contagious?
Who is it by? Because the title sounds familiar.
I can't think of the author. I just know that one of the pieces in the book was talking about how this dude came up with $100 cheesesteak. Yeah, and people was like, "Man, that's crazy. You're not finna sell on $100 cheesesteak." But what he did was he had Kobe beef, he had some cheese from another country, and that steak was worth $100. And by doing that, he had a line wrapped around a building just off of currency, just off
Mm-hmm.
of social currency.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was talking about it. Woo, woo, woo. So there was a book that Nipsey Hussle read in order to create the currency dealing with what he was doing.
Yeah.
Whether it was the smart store, the shirt, you know what I'm saying, the proud to pay movement, and it's like what he was able to do and move and make happen. He took inserts from the book and he added into what he was doing. So it just everything just shot off. So I'm just glad to see that other brothers I read, even though he was in quote unquote the gang life or the street life, it's like dude had a whole lot of sense, a hell
He
of a
had
lot
a
of
whole
sense.
lot of sense. But
And
then so many of our brothers in the neighborhood got a whole lot of sense that way.
yeah,
So it's just about making sure that they don't meet the same end as Nipsey Hussle. But
I mean that's a
it's a
hell of
bunch of them.
a yeah.
It's a whole bunch of them. It's the same thing with the kids. It's like a lot of kids, they have some amazing abilities and you can see it in them. It's like stuff that they're born with, and you can see that this is something that is unique for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what they got. Like they didn't get that from nowhere. It's just something that
It's in
was
them.
put in them from birth. And to be real honest, formal education sometimes steals that or pushes it down so far with a lot of conformity, to the point where a child spends, when they become an adult, they either don't go back and reach for it because it's so buried down and life has become so complex for them that they don't realize that they're special. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like it's plenty of people out here right now that are going through a lot of unnecessary hell. And the reason why they're tormented and they're going through a whole lot of unnecessary hell is because they won't recognize that they're gifted.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that is not their fault. It's been a lot of things that have just been done to them that have happened in their lives that has allowed their gifts to just become inactive and dormant within them.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they can just recognize that a lot of what you're going through is because you're not being true to yourself, and that you got to put in the work to reactivate that gift, to discover that gift and reactivate it, and then start living in it. Because here's the thing, it's going to be hard even when you do it, but you still got to do that work, because at least the hell that you go through will start making sense to you.
Look, I gotta. I ain't gonna. We not gonna go in no more. But I'm gonna show you. Since you talking gifts, this is the last thing, and then I'm gonna cut this mug off. I don't know if you can see it, but it's
You painting?
oh yeah, it's another paint.
Okay, see, look at you over there painting and everything. Got the
I don't know what the hell's going on, but
So
I
let
just
me ask you a question. Is the idea to sell it as one or sell it as
gotta,
two?
you gotta buy both pieces.
You gotta buy both pieces, okay?
You gotta buy both pieces. That's the only way it's gonna work. I just
That's dope.
yeah. I was like, let me do
What
a
do you
three.
what do
Huh?
you call it?
I don't know.
So you just did that. Have you been doing that since the quarantine?
Oh yeah, I
The
just did.
isolation?
Yeah, I did that. I did this. The the yin yang sign. I did.
Yeah, I did.
Um, I got a bunch of paintings, but I just been at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, cut the cut. I don't even watch TV. I just been at it. I just been working on just growing, growing my craft, growing my art, recording music. On
Mm-hmm.
the feature with I got two features with a cat from LA, but he out in Arizona now, so it's just like you ain't got no but time to make it work, make it work.
This is my latest script. I write plays. I did a reading on this one in August. So what I'm doing with this now is figuring out how to bring this to life, like to life, to life. And I got a way to make that happen. I've already done two of my plays, but that was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So before all of this stuff took place, I was working on having another stage play, and I'm still working on how to get that play on the stage, even during this time. So I
Dang.
got another little game plan that's turning over in my head right
Yeah.
now. I'm gonna be able to
I feel you.
get this play on the stage, but do so safely. So I'm working on that.
No,
But yeah, this is
I feel
definitely the
you.
time for that.
I got a and I got a book. I got a book called Got Vision. Um Coming anytime now. But it's just about um on my album, the Manefa Project, I got a song called Got Vision. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a three-part piece. It's from that, the book, and then my grandmother. Like I never got a chance to meet her.
Hmm.
So what happened was she told my uncles, like, this was in like the 60s. She was like, one day you're gonna be able to press a button and travel all the way around the world. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nigga, that's the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and show us shit stink. You in Memphis, I'm in Atlanta, and now here it is.
Press a button.
She got, got vision. So that'll be coming out soon. So it's just like you saying, the I'm not stopping. I'm motivated even by this downtime. I'm just focused.
That's what's going on. It's like this downtime is agonizing a lot of folks. It's agonizing them because they don't have their distractions right
Yeah.
now. That the things that help them manage their lives before all of this,
Yeah.
and so now they're struggling. They're at home, they're stressing, they don't want to be at home. They want to get back to their life that was full of distractions so
Yeah.
that they can be able to cope with living. And it's like that's gone though.
It's gone. Hey,
That's
you gotta.
gone. So what you gonna do? You gonna have to figure out some kind of way to adapt because it's gone.
It's over.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not gone like we're not gonna be able to be around each other anymore. But what you're used to doing, that's gone.
Yeah. That is. Yeah.
That's gone. So people like me and you that are creatives, we gonna figure out some kind of way to just sit up in our houses and create, because that's what we
All right.
do. You know what I'm saying? But what happens when you're a person that makes a life out of going to the club, makes a life out of going to the bars, makes a life out of just being out instead of sitting at home dealing with self? It's a lot of sad and unhappy people out there. Drug
Oh
addiction
yeah.
is on the
That's
rise.
all they got.
Domestic violence is on the rise. You know, the liquor store is selling out.
Like a
you know,
motherfucker.
the liquor store is selling out.
That's
So
another.
people at their house, yeah.
That's
People sitting
another.
at their houses getting drunk because they gotta have something to distract them. It's rough out here right now, man.
But look, I ain't. I'm finna. Look, it's over with. But we gotta discuss this whole thing. Look, it's art, architect, and we out this motherfucker. For real. Peace. All of that. And love and joy and juices and all.